Hi there, this is Phil Pendlebury. I've just finished a nice piece of music called Tsunami Dream. It features quite a lot of orchestral work and some electric guitar and drums. So I'm going to take you through it right now. So let's play the cue. Right then, Tsunami Dream, a little bit dramatic towards the end there. Quite a little bit of work went into arranging this, so I thought you might be interested to just see a few bits of it. I'm not going to go into huge detail. For the orchestral side, I've got quite a lot of contacts going on here. I've got Spitfire's Albion 1 and I've got Cinebrass horns and a combination of the two. And I've also got my usual superior drummer doing the drums and Addictive Keys Studio Grand, which I use for the piano. It's nice and light. So this is basically two sections with a bit tagged on at the end. The first part was an old guitar melody that I wrote when I was very young, and I've just kind of revamped that a little bit based around the guitar melody, and then it's just got a little bit of orchestration that comes in, which I'll show you. So we've got some piano, which obviously leads the chords of the track. And that was played live into the keyboard and then quantized because it's quite simple. So then we brought in the string section, which is basically Spitfire's Albion 1 low strings and the high strings, and they're all combined together. So a couple of things to note there in case you haven't seen any of the other videos, or indeed anyone else's videos about these things. You'll notice there's a lot of dynamics going on, which is, in the case of Spitfire Albion, it's controlled by the mod wheel, and it really does add to the realism. Also, I'm using the legato patches as much as possible, and again in Albion we overlay the notes so that you get the legato. So you get the legato transitions sounding quite nice there. So in the crescendo of this part, I've got quite a lot of horns going on as well, which have come from Cinebrass Core. And have a quick listen to these. Nice. And then of course there's the high wood from Albion 1 playing the melody. There's not really much to note about all that, apart from possibly interesting the guitar solo part, which this little part at the end here. You can hear that little run there, and it took quite a long time to get all the different instruments to play that. Actually, there's another brass there that I've missed. That's the Spitfire's Albion high brass. Again, a legato patch, and you can see if you go down the inspector here, start at the top, we've got negative track delays over here of varying amounts on the high strings. I've got minus 120 milliseconds, minus 150 there, 45, 35, so many different variations of negative track delays to start to bring things in time, and then going into the parts and moving them around until they sound right. And we've talked about this before, so I'm not going to go into it all again, but basically what I like to do is put the click on one part at a time and just move things around until they sound roughly right, then start to listen to one section at a time and move things around. So that's the end of that little section. Okay, so you might want to just quickly see the guitar. The guitar is recorded as is and then processed in real time, and I'm using this Solo Maker patch from Guitar Rig. I usually use my own patches, but with this particular one it just needed to be something sort of with lots of sustain and loads of delay and reverb, so that's what I've used there. Nothing dramatic. There's some other guitar as well, which is my own patches. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so we finished that and we moved on to the what's going to come next. Now, funnily enough, this little section here started off with me just playing a very basic drum beat, which was this. Actually, it was much simpler than that, but that kind of idea. And I just carried on playing the guitar and ended up playing, I don't know why, but this melody, maybe it's ripped off from somewhere else, who knows. See the original actually there. I've replayed this afterwards, as I often do, and you can see the original there, and it's exactly the same as that, just not quite as tight, and some of the notes are, you know, a little bit ropey. So yeah, so I just wanted some chords to go with that, and obviously had an idea of the feel that I wanted, which was going to incorporate Spitfire Ostinato. So here's the ostinato that kicks off. And that's just the low ostinato, using a very simple pattern in Albion. You know, or maybe you know, that you can make up all sorts of clever things with ostinato machine, or the ostinatum they call it. But I've just got it playing double notes, so it gives you that da-da-da-da-da effect, and one's quiet, one's loud, and you put it, you just play it like this. And then I've got a high one, which is not high, it's actually just an octave above, with a few notes jiggled around. And particularly sounds quite nice in the section where it starts to get going. So yeah, so we've got that little thing going. I've got a bass guitar in this as well, which, because I just felt that the low end of the ostinato wasn't quite doing it, So I put a bass, just a very simple bass, and some very simple drums. So let's just hear a little section of the drums and the bass together. Yeah, you can imagine that that built up quite quickly. It was quite obvious what needed doing, lots of crescendos, more horns, following the melody of the guitar. The chords, very, very simple. There's just one chord that is a little bit different from your average, but nothing drastic, just a nice anthemic medley. I also then put some chuggy guitars on. The piano from Albion again, which is doing the same notes as the ostinatos, the low ostinato. So it sounds a bit like a rock track. Nice sound, and the drum fills throughout as usual. I know I've skipped here, but the drum fills, what I tend to do is have a straight beat and then I chop some bits out and play it in manually, like this bit, which sounds really nice in the track, and not quantized, or it might be a little bit quantized but not fully quantized, so trying to keep it as accurate as it was when I played it in on the keyboard. So yeah, so we've got rhythm guitar, we've got a rhythm piano, obviously drums and bass, and there's the piano chords, and then it was just a case of building up around that. So really there's not much different here to most other arrangements. I've saved the brass until the second half, although we've got two horns from Cinebrass here which are kind of playing a pad effect. And again you can see the dynamics there with the mod wheel. So when we get to the second half, then I've brought in the low strings, which are playing as well as the low ostinato, which probably wouldn't happen in a real orchestra because there wouldn't be that many players. And also the same with the horns. There's two horns playing chords, and then I've got 6 horns playing a single melody. Nice little harmonies and builds there, but you can see really there's nothing, you know, outrageous being done. There's just a lot of juggling around with the length of notes and the placement of notes, dynamics there. One other thing is again the cymbassos from and the tuba and bass trombones from Cinebrass. Let's have a quick listen to those because they're quite wicked. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the percussion from Spitfire Albion as well. So yeah, when we start to get going, the whole thing comes crashing in, and in fact it was so tempting to actually ditch the guitar because it sounds quite epic without the solo. Let's have a listen to this. So I got to there and I needed an end, and the thing with these is trying to keep them short so that it keeps people's attention. Hopefully people will listen, and somebody might listen all the way through and say, oh, that guy's done a great job, let's employ him. If only that would happen. So yeah, keeping it short, I could have carried on, I could have gone back to the intro, I could have done a lot of things, so I just decided to get out as quickly as possible. It might be a little bit obvious. So what I've done is ramp down the tempo. If you have a quick look at the tempo track, you can see it just ramps down here. And then we've just played the main theme on the piano, and this is totally played live. I'm not a particularly good piano player at all. You can see it's just left hand on single notes and a few chords. And there was a little bit of debate about what chord to end on there. There was a few options, but I went with that in the end. And again, if you look at the strings here, there's 3 string parts. I didn't bother with any brass at the end. Let's go to the modulation and look at what happens. I'm not sure which part we're looking at. Ah yes, the high strings. Yeah, so from that down to that, and it sounds lovely. So yeah, you put that together and then we get this nice little ending. Yeah. And that's basically it. The drum kit I've used is the New York Avatar. Again, it's my own custom preset. If anybody wants any of these, let me know. I can soon put them up somewhere. Other than that, I've used all the factory settings for Spitfire Albion 1 and Cinebrass, but I have edited quite a lot of the volume levels. I found that the low ostinato needed really turning up, and the mics as well on that. I've used all 3 of them, whereas things like the the ordinary low strings and the high strings are quite low down. Now they don't recommend doing that, and I can understand why, but I just needed to do it in this case. Up to the mixer, everything's in groups. I've got drums, percussion, bass, and then that's my guitar solo group. That's the strings, brass, the Cinebrass, the wood, and the piano, and then the 2 rhythm guitars. And you can see there's a little bit of juggling about going on here. The solo guitar itself is the only thing that has a little bit of automation because it's such a contrast. And there's a mono delay and a dream verb there. This is UAD dream verb, which I've got across everything. And on the guitar channel we've got this. The big part really, the big crescendo where the all the horns come in. Quite anthemic and epic, and then the quiet ending, and who knows what's going to come after this if we ever string them all together. Right, well, that's about it really on this one. As I said, I've deliberately not gone into huge detail because there's nothing particularly different from any of the others. It's only different notes and different chords and a different tempo. But if there's any questions or anything that I've missed or that I've not gone into enough detail with, please do let me know. Thanks. We'll see you soon.